Skyrim is quite the impressive game in its own right, but it has a secret potential that can only be unlocked through mods. For our player character, mods can change how they view and interact with the world. In this Skyrim Mod Combinations series, we'll use a list of curated, incredible mods that will transform your character into a wholly unique build and playstyle while changing the world around you to be the best fit for your build. Keep in mind, we won't be forcing Skyrim to become The Witcher 3. They're separate games, and we're going to try to play to Skyrim's special strengths. Instead, we'll add elements of the Witcher experience into Skyrim with a focus on quality and mod compatibility. In other words, we're making your Skyrim character feel like a Witcher without hurting your load order. This will not be a total conversion. If that's what you seek, then I can heartily recommend Heavy Burn's The Witcher Game Change, which aims to fully transform the game. And I've heard through the grapevine that a new Witcher game change might be in the works. This video will instead feature 23 immersive, effective mods that will work together to turn your character into a Witcher. But how do we make Skyrim feel more like The Witcher? Not Skyrim the place, but Skyrim the game. Let's start by taking a look at the UI. Introducing Dear Diary Dark Mode by Hircine Reactor. Dear Diary Dark Mode overhauls every single one of Skyrim's menus in a new style with a level of quality that we've only seen before from SkyUI itself. And not only menu backgrounds, but new icons, sliders, colors, and sounds have been created expressly for this mod. Every way you interact with the menus has seen a visual and auditory overhaul with a new journal, inventory screen, favorites menu, skills menu, loading screen, dialogue menu, quick loot menu, tab menu, and main menu, and many more like on-screen compass, skills, and stats. All of this not even mentioning the new dynamic cursor that faintly glows. The darker UI and warmer text have a dramatic effect on the atmosphere of the game. We want something that fits the darker, more serious playstyle of a Witcher, but the menu borders as well as the bright icons and meters still bring a fantasy feel to the UI. With a wonderful marriage between simplicity of design and a unique art style, this UI feels different from Skyrim, but is still able to mantle the game in a pleasing way. Now that our menus give off an aura of dark fantasy, we'll want our lighting to do the same. For this, we have Obsidian weathers with touch of natural Tamriel ENB by Fireman AF. In the day, this ENB presents a wonderful valley between fantastical and realistic, depending on the weather and location. But it's in the evening and at night that the true colors of this ENB shine. With deep shadows and orange sunlight that is much colder than you might expect, touch of natural Tamriel paints a more sinister feeling as the sun sets. This adequately reflects the duality of beauty and fear that the world of The Witcher consists of. Daytime traveling and exploration across a beautiful fantasy landscape, capped by an eerie darkness when monsters come out and you must defend yourself against any threats that come your way at night. I like this ENB, as to me, it conveys the feeling of a low-magic, realistic world that has been made darker by the presence of monsters. Though it doesn't look exactly like the lighting in The Witcher, I was impressed upon trying it out by how well it managed to exude the same tone. Combined with the UI, Skyrim already looks quite different, but now that our environment is set up, we can focus on the true process of becoming a Witcher. For starters, a Witcher needs some armor. Can't do any Witcher work if you can't protect yourself in the process. For this we have Knightranger Archer Armor by Knightranger's Guild, Data's Devil, and Lord Lucian 7. It's a retexture of the Seltkirk armor from The Witcher 2, in a more unified brown rather than the multicolored version from The Witcher game itself. Perfectly fitting the theme as an armor set for a mixture of a rogue and warrior, it captures the essence of a Witcher, an efficient, tactical, and most importantly speedy warrior, dispatching monsters right and left before they've had the chance to blink. The cape and hood will serve to make your Witcher look more stealthy when they need to, and the quality of the armor itself is wonderful. In an immersive way, the set stands out from all of the armor in Skyrim, but so will your character once they fully embrace their witch-hunting profession. But armor is only half the equation when it comes to combating monsters. For the other half, we have 4 mods which will grant your Witcher offensive capabilities. The first is simply more silver weapons by Big Smoochie. This mod will integrate a weapon class that was only found on one faction, the Silver Hand, to be a standardized weapon class that appears all across the game. Now you can not only find, buy, make, and improve silver weapons, but due to their more commonplace status, you can roleplay that the world feels like it needs to be more prepared for battling monsters, more prepared to request the services of a Witcher. The Silver Swords for Vigilance add-on will equip the Vigilance of Stendarr with silver weapons better suited to hunting baddies, helping to emphasize the fact that monster hunters are quite necessary in this soon-to-be darker version of the world of Skyrim. A Witcher cannot do without their silver sword, especially for the new monsters we're going to be hunting later in the video. Now our Witcher can easily access one, and the ability to improve it at a grindstone will allow us to use it for the majority of our playthrough. One problem though, vanilla silver swords look quite, how should I say, underwhelming. This is where Silver Edge, Silver Sword, and Greatsword model replacers by Villadran comes in. Adding a new look to your silver swords to be closer to the Witcher series, this remesh gives silver weapons a more angled, effective appearance. Vanilla silver sword models always looked old or dull. These models look sharp, and the upturned crossguard right above the hilt inspires a feeling of aggression which matches the countenance of a Witcher. The new meshes from this mod will use your particular silver textures, and since all silver swords in Skyrim will now use this model, due to them showing up in leveled lists, crafting menus, and in merchant inventories, we'll achieve a nice level of world consistency. Despite our efforts, however, silver weapons in vanilla Skyrim remain unfortunately weak. Against creatures like the undead, vampires, werewolves, and even spiders, silver deals a flat 20 extra damage, which becomes rather useless past the early game. For that, simple silver damage overhaul by any Killer 83 is just what we need. This mod changes the equation so that silver weapons will instead do an additional 75% of the full damage of the sword, which allows silver weapons to remain effective against monsters even late into the game, and makes silver weapons more dynamic too, since the increase in silver damage will rely on how upgraded the sword is. Add in the damage from skills and perks, and we have ourselves a formidable tool to use against the creatures of the night. But I'll put it bluntly. A Witcher needs allies, and there are no Witcher schools in Skyrim. Luckily, there's an entire faction devoted to hunting down creatures of the night, the Dawnguard. This is Dawnguard Arsenal by Madcat221. As you can see, Dawnguard Arsenal will aid our Witcher where the vanilla game failed, supplying him with a full roster of Dawnguard weapons. New dagger, mace, sword, greatsword, and battle axe are now present. The traditional Dawnguard special damage that used to apply only to vampires has now been buffed and altered to apply to a wider variety of unnatural creatures, meaning these new Dawnguard weapons will become a formidable offense against all of our foes. Like in the vanilla game, the full roster of weapons added by this mod will be at Dwarven tier damage. However, there are additional elite versions of every weapon which are glass tier, so our ability to use special anti-monster weapons will persist throughout the whole playthrough, eliminating the need to use a single silver sword forever. Since a Witcher diversifies their skills for maximum effectiveness in combat, we can also acquire the new Dawnguard Arsenal Sun spells, and a crossbow. We now have an arsenal of weapons, so it's unfortunate that the vanilla game doesn't allow us to achieve the classic Witcher look and display them on our person. This issue is rectified with Immersive Equipment Displays by Slavic Potato. A powerful tool on its own, Immersive Equipment Displays allows us to display on our person weapons, coin purses, potions, and even bounty trophies, as we'll see later on. This mod visually enhances the atmosphere of being a tactical warrior who prepares for his fights with caution. For a quick setup of this mod, we'll also download Immersive Equipment Displays, Mura Presets by Murasame, which comes with a few presets for potions, coin purses, and bounties. This last mod will round out the gear section of the video, as it's safe to say our Witcher is now well equipped to handle any combat situation. Speaking of combat, Skyrim's world is a little light on creatures for a Witcher's profession, isn't it? We can fix that with Skyrim Immersive Creatures by Life's to Rock and Jackstar. We've all heard of immersive creatures in the wave of beasts it adds, but just a few months ago it had a massive update, adding and improving upon many creatures in the mod. There are goblins and daedra, undead and minotaurs, dwemer specters, and giants, all powerful foes for an aspiring Witcher to battle against. But don't think immersive creatures simply adds monsters. New animals and beasts are present in the world. We have Welwas and grand slaughterfish, pygmy trolls, durzogs, woolly rhinos, and new types of chorus, all waiting to ambush and embroil our Witcher in skirmishes along stone roads and in the wilds. Moreover, the mod includes tons of variants of existing enemies. New Draugr, Spriggans, Dwarven automatons, and many more are now present. A myriad of new enemy systems are also included in the mod, such as additional spawns, which allow extra creatures to spawn in certain situations all across the world, or the skeleton reanimation system, which adds a chance that a defeated skeleton will reanimate and fight you once more. Admirably, the mod is highly configurable and polished. Multiple pages of options allow you to customize the difficulty and monster types as you so choose. Now that the amount of encounterable creatures in Skyrim has essentially doubled, we have a wide backdrop of immersive beasts that feel like they actually belong in the world for our Witcher to hunt, battle, and prepare for. But we're not done. We also have Hunt of Hircine OIF by Big Smoochie again. The OIF stands for Ogres, Imps, and Flesh Atronachs. Basically, the mod author took the Hunt of Hircine mod and cut out everything but these 3 creatures and their spawn locations. You'll encounter them every now and then, certainly not as often as creatures from the Immersive Creatures mod. However, these are also a bit more monstrous than most of the creatures from that mod as well. While imps are small and relatively weak, ogres present a tough challenge to battle, and the massive Flesh Atronachs will certainly take a lot to bring down, all excellent opponents for a competent Witcher. One hallmark of the Witcher world, however, is that most truly fearsome creatures hunted by Witchers aren't just measly creatures, they're monsters. Introducing Monster Mash by Irasi. Unlike the 2 previous mods, which contain a slew of different animals, beasts, creatures, and some monsters, Monster Mash is more intensely focused on, well, monsters of course. Liches, hymns, wendigos and howlers, wraiths, zombies, undead werewolves, mourning souls, Sithis' shadow atronachs, and many, many more are added by this mod, which you've probably never heard of. Monster Mash, rough around the edges as it is, serves as a sort of main dish when it comes to the Witcher's profession of hunting monsters, as all of the monstrosities added by this mod are made to be sinister and frightening. Only a well-trained Witcher can stand up to such threats and survive. Many monsters added by this mod are individually placed in dungeons and unsavory areas, but some are also added to the leveled lists, so you could very well be ambushed by a ghoul, bat, wendigo, or any other manner of fiends upon your travels. As well as these additions, there are now several boss enemies, which will take all of your strength and more to combat, giving you a goal to work towards, and hopefully making the world feel less like it revolves around you, and more like a struggle to survive. While Immersive Creatures and Hunt of Hircine OIF do a great job of expanding the creature-enemy variety, it is Monster Mash's mutants, horrors, and abominations that I feel will add the spine-chilling flavor of the Witcher world to Skyrim. Our Witcher can now most certainly say that he has worthy foes to fight, or more accurately, hunt. But what is a Witcher really, without Witcher contracts? These 3 main mods will add the necessary systems for your Witcher to find, accept, and carry out contracts on vampires, giants, dragons, etc., as well as raid the dungeons of the aforementioned menagerie of monsters that we've added to the game. Firstly, we have, of course, Missives by Iron Dusk 33. We'll also install the Missives Notes retexture by the wonderful J Serpa, which adds to the formerly blank notes, writings, that actually correspond to certain quest types that Missives includes. Lastly, we'll grab Missives The Witcher Board HD by Aristus, which spices up the Missives boards with unique carvings and candles that illuminate the contents of the board at night. Missives allows for the spontaneous creation of hundreds of localized Radiant quests with varying levels of difficulty and rewards. Not all relate to monster killing. You have the traditional courier quests to deliver an item, gather quests to collect materials, hunt quests where you track down a criminal, retrieve quests where you recover a stolen item or artifact, and kill quests where you clear out the denizens of a nearby dungeon. Our Witcher can pick and choose whatever he likes, but the kill quests will be by far the best suited to his particular talents. It's a good thing that we can adjust the levels of rewards and the frequency that each type of quest occurs to either make our game a peaceful land where citizens post jobs for couriers and collectors, or in this case, a hostile realm where guards, civilians, and the aristocracy contract trained killers to hunt down and exterminate unsavory individuals and monsters plaguing the land, all through these missives boards present in each major city. Our second main mod is much in a similar vein to the first. The Notice Board SE by ManyGT adds 2 notice boards to each city, right outside the local inn, which contain more Radiant quests, as well as a few unique quests. We'll also add the Notice Board Redefined, New Meshes and Textures mod, which gives the notice boards a nice civilized retexture. Freestanding notice boards will offer more Radiant delivery, bounty, gathering, and retrieval quests, just like Missives. But new in this mod are interesting takes on some new Radiant quests, like the Retrieve Full Armor Set quests, where you must gather a full set of armor of a certain type, piece by piece for an NPC, or the Investigation quests, where you must become a detective and solve a case of mysterious civilian disappearances, or the Have You Visited quests, where you are contracted to explore an undiscovered location. Also, unlike the Missives mod, some Radiant quests will actually give you valuable skill increases as a reward, rather than gold. And the new one-off quests that I mentioned earlier, which are more expansive than the Radiant quests, give powerful and unique rewards. And don't forget the second notice board in each city, the one attached to the wall of the inn, which contains not quests, but information about local people, story letters, love letters, pranks, etc. Missives and the notice board will be the main 2 mods informing our Witcher's gameplay structure. Returning to town to resupply, buy and sell, turn in any quests, and consult the local boards for more Witcher's work before departing from town to continue working once again. A Witcher's life is hard. It's hard, but it's up to them if they'll still strive to be moral or if they'll fall short in the end. This next mod will help with that. This is Headhunter Bounties Redone by J Serpa. With Headhunter, each bounty will need to be physically brought into the city and shown to the quest giver, whether dead or alive. Killing a bandit, giant, or dragon with a bounty on its head will allow you to sever their head and carry it with you back to town in order to get your reward. A bandit's head will be carried in a sack and worn on your belt. The giant and dragon heads will be carried on your back, both due to the Immersive Equipment Displays mod that we went over earlier. Say your Witcher is a more merciful warrior, however. You can actually instead bring bandit bounties in alive, and convince giants to leave rather than be killed. Once a bandit or giant is at low health and they kneel on the ground, you can talk to them to take them prisoner in the bandit's case.
Don't hurt me, you win.
Or in the giant's case, force them to leave forever in shame. In this way you can spare their lives. If a bandit is your prisoner, they will follow you with their hands bound. You can loot all their items through dialogue, upon threat of their death, of course. And once you get back to town, talk to the guard to have them arrested.
That's it. I'm placing you under arrest.
Where they will dynamically be taken to the nearest prison, and will actually remain there in jail from that point on. Dragons you cannot spare, however. You must kill them. With this mod, even a simple bounty mission can give our Witcher a choice, whether they want to take the easy way and kill, or take on the responsibility of sparing their target. There is full Missives and notice board support, and Headhunter even goes beyond that, adding new ways to complete other Missives quests, like capturing fugitives via speech options, or intimidating thieves into giving you back what they stole. With all this new functionality, the contract side of our Witcher's job is sufficiently fleshed out. Now let's add more gameplay options to help the combat and faction sides of the Witcher playstyle. starting with a rather simple mod to make your Witcher feel more like a Witcher. Witcher-style Meditate Waiting by Maxu 2017. A Witcher must be skilled and well-trained, but unless a Witcher is focused in the moment, they will surely die. Thus, the Witchers meditate, and now so will you. With a new customizable hotkey to initiate waiting, our Witcher can now meditate on his knees, the traditional waiting style for monster hunters like him. Once the wait is over, he will stand up once again, ready to continue on. Simple, and a much better alternative to being a creeper who stands in the same spot, waiting for hours on end. Being ill-informed or unintelligent is yet another way to get yourself killed in the hostile world of the Witcher. Knowledge is power. A good Witcher knows his enemies' resistances and weaknesses, and knows how to exploit them. A troll is susceptible to fire, thus a Witcher might use a fire spell, that sort of thing. We'll use Know Your Enemy Redux by TJHM4 to bring this tactical style of play to the forefront of combat. No longer will you be able to spam the same attacks from your iron sword at every enemy and have decent success. Now, through the power of Know Your Enemy Redux, we can seamlessly overhaul the resistances and weaknesses of all vanilla creatures. And using Know Your Enemy Redux's expansion patches, we can patch many creature mods, such as Immersive creatures, to use these parameters. It works through a trait-based system. Take Draugr, for example. They have the trait Undead. Being undead, they are immune to disease and poison. They are also resistant to shock damage and all types of physical damage, except axe damage, which they are weak to since the hefty chops of a sturdy axe can dismember their cold limbs. So if your Witcher is heading to a Draugr ruin, rather than show up unprepared, an experienced Witcher might attain and upgrade a Dawnguard War Axe, which will not only do the axe damage that Draugr are so weak to, but also deal bonus silver damage to the undead for the ultimate combo. Each non-human creature has one or more traits which you now must pay attention to. To this end, the mod gives the player a spell called Inspect Creature, which will reveal an enemy's traits if cast at them. I fell in love with this mod, as playing tactically and achieving success is always more rewarding than approaching every situation the exact same way. Additionally, there are now 21 new books that will randomly show up in loot. When reading one of these books, your character will unlock the ability to deal bonus damage to enemies with certain traits, and in rare cases, will unlock new discoverable traits, which will give you an edge over your enemies. In terms of combat, no other mod on this list has a greater effect when it comes to fighting monsters. However, it will not just have an effect during combat. Using multiple weapons, types of magic, and even stealth will lend the best results in any given combat situation, since it will be best to approach the fight by using the tactic that your enemy is weakest to. This means that unlike the vanilla game, your entire character build, from crafting to combat, will be informed by exactly what you're fighting, giving the player a choice. Spread out and use multiple skills and damage types at the cost of losing effectiveness in any single damage type, or go all in on one damage type and try to overcome enemy resistances through sheer specialization and skill with your favorite weapon. An important decision for someone whose purpose is to hunt monsters. Our last mod serves as the final step in making our Witcher truly the ultimate monster hunter. This is Dealing with Daedra, a massive mod by Flinch147, which offers new factions, player hubs, magic systems, artifacts, and character build opportunities. Altogether, the mod offers over 30 new features to the game, from the 8 new faction/player hubs, such as the Eastmarch Gentlemen's Club, the public face of a criminal syndicate intent on solidifying themselves as the most powerful mafia in the region, to the Cult of Flesh, a cabal of strange worshippers deifying a colossal amorphous creature residing under the earth created by a powerful flesh mage. Our monster-slaying warrior will join the Witch Hunters Guild, an organization solely focused on the eradication of abominations. Each new player hub contains several light quests. These aren't actually full quest lines. Instead, they offer a permanent spot in your playthrough by allowing for character build opportunities. Take the Witch Hunters Guild. The blind information broker in the guild headquarters, located somewhere on the Whiterun tundra, will sell bounty notes, which provide information and directions to over 40 dungeons. Upon successfully hunting the beasts in said dungeons, our Witcher can strip trophies off of their corpses, which can be traded for silver nuggets or turned in at the guild's headquarters for new witch hunting items, such as silver dust and silver oil, which damage unholy creatures. Most new features of this mod operate in a similar way. No in-your-face questline or overly emotional story, just good writing and game mechanics that allow you to discover new aspects of the world of Skyrim and to specialize in a unique playstyle of your choice. There's way too much to cover in dealing with Daedra, so I'll just list some more features. There's tons of new artifacts and items, such as Sanguine's ever-flowing Cup of Plenty, which never runs dry of mead. New Atronach Forge recipes, allowing for specialization in elemental magic types. A new fast travel system involving Phalion and the Standing Stones. And of course, deals with Daedra, such as Hermaeus Mora, Molag Bal, and Clavicus Vile, who offer special powers. But at what cost? Aside from mainly adding a myriad of new locations and characters around Skyrim, dealing with Daedra actually has a rather unobtrusive presence in the land, allowing you to naturally discover the new factions, player hubs, artifacts, and magic systems as you adventure across the province. The vast majority of new content is only hinted at by notes added to inns and small clues found here and there. And due to the simplicity and lack of bloated questlines that we often see in faction or quest mods, dealing with Daedra itself is quite compatible with many mods. You'd be surprised. My personal mod list of almost 800 mods had scarce few conflicts. See the mod page for extensive details on all of the amazing things this mod includes. With that, our Monster Slayer is fully kitted out with weapons and armor, tactics and tools, and a magical and dangerous land to carve up or to be carved up within. I hope you enjoyed this first episode of Skyrim Mod Combinations. Let me know in the comments if you want more videos like this. I just want to say thank you guys so much for the support. You're all super nice in the comments, and just the rate at which this channel is growing continues to surprise me every day. I know I've said it before, but I thought that thinking optimistically, I would have maybe a few hundred subscribers in the second month. Not close to 5,000. Anyway, subscribe for more mods, and good luck to your Witcher. They're going to need it.